Wonderful, wonderful to see all of you out there. Welcome to the Happy Brain Miracle Masterclass and Happy New Year to everyone. Wish you all a happy, prosperous, and happy, super happy New Year, I would say. And I'm sure all of us, we are going to shine in this year and bring something magical into life. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for all your kind and great wishes of the new year and the evening. Thank you very much. Lovely, lovely to see so many of you, but I would love to see you on the camera. So why not we all come on camera and greet each other with a broad, beaming, radiating smile on our face. Great, wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lovely to see all of you there. Fantastic. And today being very start of the year, 2nd of January, and great that you have taken this decision to bring and attract abundance and happiness to your life. Fantastic. Lovely, lovely to see all of you. And in this masterclass, as the name suggests, we are going to look at happiness with a different lens altogether, where we will see how we can bring in some positivity in spite of challenges outside. That would be our journey. And we will also discover that happiness is a choice as we go through this lovely 3 days as we are going to spend together. Before we go further, voice is very low. Yeah, thank you for a trigger to me that to check that the voice is coming across. You can see me on your screen as well. Can you just mention my audio, video are coming good? Just write all good. AG. You can just write AG, all good. That means you can see and you can also hear me. Fabulous. Fantastic. Maybe some of you have to just check at your end as well, in case the audio is not qualitative. Yeah. Before we proceed further, it would be great if you can just mention your name and the city you are from where you are connecting right now. If you can just write that, your name and the city you belong to. Yeah. I can see Surendraji from Hyderabad, Manikji is from Bangalore, Suchi is from Pondicherry, I think Siddharji is from Gurgaon. I can see Raghavendraji from Bangalore, Surat, Niraliji is from Bhopal, Krishnaji, Matthewji from Bhopal, Krishnaji from Chennai, wonderful, wonderful. Santandasji from Durgapur, Rajasthan, every part, almost. Bareilly, Chennai, Trivandrum, I cannot read, it's moving so fast now. Ghaziabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Goa, Kurnool, and lovely, lovely, lovely. Chikkabalapur, Bhubaneswar, Nirgun from Pune, welcome. Chirag from Chennai, welcome, welcome, welcome. Wonderful, wonderful. Almost every part of the country is being represented. Fabulous. Gopakumarji from Trivandrum, welcome, welcome. Johnji is from Kerala, lovely. So let's get on to the session as we proceed through these 3 days. And it is about happiness. And I'm sure all of us, we are going to get something positive and be happy through this session. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just bring on my slide so that we are going to be on track. We are not going to deviate much and put ourselves on a track and make the best use of the time that we are going to spend together. Give me one moment. If you can just mention once more that the slide is visible to you, my audio and video are also fine. Just write AG if everything is good, all good. Yeah. All good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, formally, I welcome all of you on this Happy New Year to the Happy Brain Miracle Masterclass. And this would be a 3-day masterclass where we are going to explore how happiness can be a choice in our life and how to defeat things like anxiety, depressive feelings, some kind of agitation and irritation inside, restlessness, how to defeat them and by choice. So let's move on. Let's have the understanding of it. Before we proceed further, let me just check with you. Why at all we should have this masterclass at this moment in time? Do you think that this is needed at this point in time when we have advanced so much? Every amenity is there. We have money, we have mobile phones, we can connect with others at distant places. All these amenities are there. But do we need also to work on happiness? Apparently, everyone is happy. Do you think this is a necessity at this point in time? Just write yes if you find that this learning happiness, it's something like everyone by nature knows what is happiness, but we are studying, we are learning that. Yeah, I can see lot many people writing yes. Not just you, worldwide. Now there is a movement, they call it the science of happiness, where they want to find out why so many people are unhappy. What is happening? In spite of all these developments, all these positive things happening all around, why so many negative things inside? What is it? So that is the reason why we are conducting this masterclass, because millions and millions of people on this planet, they suffer from these conditions like stress, anxiety, worry, guilt, shame, depression, lethargy, restlessness, boredom. All these are so prevalent. In spite of having everything around, we are still suffering from this. And what science is finding, what science has already found out, is not necessarily these conditions are because of adverse circumstances, bad fortune, lack of money, or relationships. Primarily, they find that our lack of ability, inability to train our mind or to train our brain to become happy. That's what is the primary reason for why we are not happy. We have not trained our brain to be happy, trained our mind, you can say, to be happy. That's the reason. So it's primarily because of our internal thing that training the brain to be happy would make us happy. If you agree with this, just write agree. If you agree with this, just write agree or just write A. That it is primarily, if you learn how to train and maybe tame our mind, we will be happy. Yeah, so many A's are flowing in. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I really love this response. Your responses actually give me energy. I can sense your love and energy through your chats. So please use the chat box whenever we are interacting in order to keep the little hygiene so that the noise would not come. We have put all of you in mute mode, but at appropriate time, we'll unmute you and interact with you, definitely. Great. So they say that it is this for which we are mostly unhappy. And it is true. We all agree with that. Now, what is that we are going to do? If that is the need, that is the requirement, it's been seen by default. Our brain has a negative orientation by default. Brain has been designed to be little negative, and that helps us to survive in the world. Negative mind survive because we are very alert. Oh, there is a danger here, there is a problem there, there is a challenge there. So all the time I may fall down, there may be something happening in my life which is negative, so that I'm alert. And that alertness, that survival orientation of the brain is by default. So negativity is by default. To what degree it may vary from individual to individual, but by default we have a negative orientation in general. So this default negative orientation now is causing havoc across the planet, across humanity. This has now spiked up. More complexity in the life, and we are thinking everything is a problem, everything is going to hurt me. Somebody else is progressing, I am hurt. Jealousy sets in. Somebody is little harsh, I am touchy, and that criticism is hurting me. So this is a default condition. What we are going to learn in this masterclass is how to change this default condition to a condition, designed condition, where the brain is calm, relaxed, organized, harmonized, and it's joyful. So we are designing through some techniques, through some approach, through some understanding, so that by default, when the brain is having so many negativities, we can make it positive by applying some techniques, some practices. Yeah. Does it make sense? Just write MS. Just write MS, making sense. Yeah. By design, the brain is negative because of survival orientation. We have to save our body. That's the primary thing for which the brain has been designed. Now we have to change that orientation to a designed orientation where we are actually becoming more calm and composed. Yeah. Lovely. Now, I have been uttering these words, science of happiness, and many times people ask me, is there a science called science of happiness? Is it there? Yes, absolutely, it is there. It's relatively a new science, emerging field of science. So not many people know about this, but all across the globe, this is now flourishing. Many people are now embracing this field of science. When we look at science of happiness all across the globe, when we go to West, like Harvard, Princeton, Oxford, Cambridge, Yale, UCLA, Canberra University, almost every top university in the world are having science of happiness centers or research centers. It's a combination science. You can say many inputs are coming from different fields of science, like positive psychology, one of the aspects of psychology, cognitive neuroscience, how the brain functions. For example, if I'm speaking to all of you, some part of my brain is in activation. There is a part called Wernicke's area, Broca's area, angular gyrus, the somatosensory cortex. Different parts of the brain are activated so that I can speak. My muscles can move, as the sound can come out, it can make sense. All these are happening because my brain is functioning in a particular way. So this is cognitive neuroscience. Now they are trying to find out how the brain should function so that we can be happy, how the brain is functioning so that we are unhappy, why we are angry and dejected and agitated, anxious, depressed, how we can make it happy by changing the neural pathways in the brain. So that's cognitive neuroscience, which is contributing significantly to the science of happiness. Behavioral economics. Typically, this is the psychological aspect of economics, which is again contributing to the science of happiness. And most importantly, and very interestingly, the Eastern meditative wisdom has been embraced by the science of happiness. They have been doing a lot of research. In fact, a branch of neuroscience has developed now called contemplative neuroscience. And most of them are actually coming to India to do the research on the brain of the monks, on the brain of the yogis, to see how this mind has become happy in spite of extreme challenging conditions outside. So these are the major inputs which are going to make the science of happiness a fascinating and empowering science. Fascinating and empowering science. And with the help of this science, we can understand what is happening, why I am happy or unhappy, and how to improve that happiness. So knowing what is the degree of my happiness or unhappiness and why it is so, how to improve it. This is what science of happiness is suggesting us, giving us. And as I mentioned, this is a fascinating and empowering science. We can all write FES, fascinating, very interesting science, and also very empowering. That means by knowing this, by using this, by applying this, we can empower ourselves to become happy. And this empowerment includes how to be confident, includes how to communicate appropriately. It includes how to be joyful, how to respond in different and difficult conditions, how to work even challenges are around, how to focus. All these things are part of the science of happiness. Yeah, brilliant. Lovely. So it's a very fascinating, interesting science. And at the same time, it is very empowering. Once we get the hang of it, we can apply and change our quality of life. Lovely, lovely. Great to see all your responses flooding in. Now moving further, how I actually came across this. My journey or understanding of the science of happiness started long back, but I learned it structured manner in the Science of Happiness Center at IIT Kharagpur. IIT Kharagpur is the only, probably not the first, premier institute in the country where we have a Science of Happiness Center. A lot of research is happening. I had the privilege to go there, learn, understand. Later on, I collaborated with IIT Kharagpur to conduct and to also deliver different programs and different kinds of coaching and mentoring systems applying the science of happiness. Would you like to know how I came across this? Because by training, I was not a psychologist. I am an engineer. I did my MBA later on. But for some reason, I came to this field. Would you like to know something about me, how I came here and what? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that permission. Yeah, great. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. In fact, my journey in corporate started in 1993. After my engineering, I joined a huge, large public sector organization, and there I worked in Steel Authority as a management trainee. I was very excited and I worked also hard, but somewhere down the line, I was having some issues. Although my externally everything was appearing pretty normal, internally I was little agitated. I was having a lot of challenges inside. So much so that at the age of 28, my blood pressure levels are very high and I had to depend on medicine. I was on medication for almost 20 years, close to. So that started. I knew that something is wrong. Although career and family, other things were good, but I was stressed. I was stretched. I was having internal disturbances, agitation, anxiety, stress, all those things are prevailing. And my body weight also was growing. I was obese. For my height of about 5.5 feet, my weight was almost 93 kilograms. So naturally, it was very, very unusual. I was feeling heavy and very low and down, and everything was disturbed inside. It continued up to 2008. In 2008, one life-threatening event, which actually changed everything. The life-threatening incident was, me and my family were on a pleasure trip to Jim Corbett National Park. We landed up in a resort, and on the first day itself, we were on a trekking. It was called the nature walk. So from that place, we entered into the jungle on foot, along with a guide, about 20 odd people. My wife could not join because my younger son was very small. He was about 1.5 years then in 2008. My elder son was 7 years old. So me and my young son, we entered the jungle along with a group of people and a guide. But something happened. We actually, because of some communication gap, we lost track. We were separated from the group and we were lost. And in the jungle, it was very difficult to find a sense of direction. So following my gut feeling, we moved in one direction, but it was the wrong direction. And we were on a riverbed, dry riverbed, and there was a tiger very nearby. It was one of the most dreadful moments of my life. My son and myself, we were sort of lost in the jungle, and tiger was there in the vicinity. That moment, something happened. Somehow, initially, I was shaking, I was shivering, and I was about to fall down because of the threat nearby. And I was feeling so guilty to have brought my son along with me. But something happened. I just could to gather my mind. I got a little calm. Then I recalled and realized from my earlier memory, I had read books of Jim Corbett and Kenneth Anderson in my childhood. From there, I recalled that when a tiger is there, you need to actually talk at the peak of your voice, giving a sense to the tiger that you know that it is there and you are ready for it. So I started with that. I started talking at a louder voice. And fortunately, for some miraculous thing, my mobile rang from some unknown number. I disconnected the call, and in the midst of the forest in Jim Corbett, my mobile had few flickering signals, and I could connect to the resort, and we could get a help. Within few minutes, the rescue team came and they saved us. That was a turning point for me. A turning point for me because two things. One, my mind saved me. Clearly, my mind saved me. At some point, I was feeling like I will just fall down because I was agitated, I was shaking, I was having all turbulence inside. Then I could calm down my mind, think very clearly how to instruct the rescue team to reach to our location. Everything I did clearly, and recall that Jim Corbett and Kenneth Anderson wrote in their book how you should behave when tiger is around. All this could be possible because I could calm down my mind, think clearly, focus on my task, and that saved my life. In fact, that moment I said my mind saved my life, and some other miraculous thing happening. The next thing is, I knew I could sense experience. All of us, we know life is very it's unpredictable, but it was an experience of unpredictability of life. You would never know where and when everything may be over. So why not explore life in a very different way and make it a journey of joy and happiness, not to unnecessarily get overwhelmed by the tasks and things around, and jealousy and all those kind of things. These two thoughts came to my mind in such a manner that when I came back from Jim Corbett, my first thing was go get some book and read about mind and make a different career altogether. I was in marketing that time, marketing of steel. I chose to switch from marketing to training, to become a faculty in a management training institute. And then my journey completely shifted. And in the management training institute, I could become the head of academics and got an opportunity to collaborate with IIT Kharagpur on the science of happiness. And that's how I landed up in the science of happiness domain, and collaborated with amazing people. You can see the picture of Dr. Samdu Chetri. Yeah, it was, as Anusha ji is mentioning, wow, it was, I still, when I narrate the story, you could have sensed my my tone of my voice, because goosebumps on my body all over, because I still can remember that moment. I can visualize as if I'm there. It was one of the most dreadful moments of my life, but that was also a changing point. It could make a shift in my life. Yeah. It was scary and amazing and probably blessing in disguise. Yeah. So I chose to collaborate with IIT Kharagpur, where Dr. Samdu Chetri actually was the first, if you heard of this term, Gross National Happiness Center of Bhutan. How many of you have heard about this? Gross National Happiness Center, GNH. Just write GNH, any one of you, if you've heard about. In Bhutan, they have something called a Gross National Happiness Center, and it is one of its kind in the entire world. And Dr. Samdu Chetri was the founder director of that. And he's regarded and revered as one of the most respected figures in the domain of the science of happiness. So I actually had the opportunity to learn from him, collaborate with him, and we could organize workshops and retreats. And that's how my journey in the happiness domain started in 2016. But much before that, I was focusing on how to understand mind and how to change the quality of life. In that journey, I could train more than 10,000 corporate executives and many other different category of people, like students and businessmen and so many more. In fact, when we had the first retreat together, Dr. Chetri and myself, these were golden words from him, from his humility. I know he was top person in the domain of the science of happiness, but he wrote this for me, which I preserve as a precious gift from his side. He says, Sandip is a great teacher of happiness and mindfulness, and I witnessed it teaching at Netarhat, the place where we conducted it, and was not just impressed, but learned from him. So these were the words of Dr. Samdu Chetri. And with his blessings, with his guidance, I could do a lot of many more kind of workshops and retreats all over the country. And 2020, I chose to quit my job and start Academy of Unlimited Mind, to reach out to larger audience, much bigger audience, and spread this message that by training your mind, you can make happiness a choice. It is simple, it is scientific, and it is systematic. You can transform your life by embracing science of happiness. So thankfully, with grace and with blessings of many, many positive people like you, we have now gone past 10,000 mark, and very soon we will expand and reach out to this goal of 1 lakh people who would learn this art and further spread it to more and more people. Yeah. Okay, Dinesh is saying worked in Bhutan for 10 years. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So this was my journey. Just give me one moment. Let me bring the slide. Yeah. Now, yeah. So having come to this point, we will understand what we are going to learn in the coming 3 days specifically, and how our journey would be in this course, 3 days course. Day 1, that is today, we are going to learn about the history of the negative mind, how the mind has been negative. That's already I have mentioned it. And there is something called a trap. We will discuss about something called a human trap and understand why we are unhappy. Why by default, in spite of having so many things around us, why we are unhappy, and it is by default. By knowing that much, we can gain a lot of positivity. We can be empowered just by knowing why I'm unhappy. In fact, scientifically, they say if you know why you are unhappy, what is the reason for it, you can actually overcome unhappiness to a large extent. So we will learn about human trap. Then we will also do a small, powerful activity today. Please do this activity today itself. We will suggest how to do that activity, and you'll do it. Together we'll do it. Second, day number 2, we'll understand the mind itself. We are going to train the mind, right? So we are going to understand how the brain is mediating the mind and what is the mind. So we'll look at the mind and understand the aspects of mind, and then we'll go to the central theme of this workshop tomorrow about the miracle formula or miracle powers. So we will understand the miracle formula tomorrow. And third, day after tomorrow, we are going to understand, apply the miracle formula on ourselves to change the quality of our life. Application of the formula would be on day 3. On day 3, I'm also going to share a template with you. Let me tell you something straight up front, that in 3 days, we are not likely to change many things. We'll have some knowledge, but in order to change ourselves, we have to continue the practice for at least 2-3 weeks. So that's very clear to let it be very clear to all of us that we have to apply, commit to certain practices for 2 to 3 weeks. Then it is assured that you will get brilliant result. So that 2 to 3 weeks time, how you can do it, we will be sharing a template with you so that you can take it further for the next few days. One more thing we'll do on day 3. As I mentioned, I'll interact with you. So about 20 minutes we'll devote to interaction, and 10 minutes we'll devote to something called our advanced course. It's a mentoring course. If any one of you are interested in joining that mentoring course, you are most welcome. So we'll take about 10 minutes to describe what is that course, and you can choose to join us purely voluntary. There is absolutely no pressure from our side, because it has to be voluntary and commitment is the essence. So if you think that you can join it, please do join on day 3. And day 3, we are going to share the bonuses. Whatever we have offered, we will be sharing on day 3. Yeah, this is the course outline. Is it clear? Day 1, about understanding why we are unhappy. What is our mind doing with us so that we are unhappy? Day 2, we will understand the mind in a little more detail. What are the categories of mind? What is different segregation of mind and how they operate? And we will also unfold the miracle formula, how that formula can help us overcome the unhappy mind. Day 3 is application. How we can apply and use some tools so that we can change the mind and implement the miracle formula. If it is clear, just write CC. Just write CC. CC means crystal clear. I would use a lot of acronyms. Yeah, CC. Crystal clear. Wonderful. Thank you. So with that, now let's move on. As I said, bonuses will be shared on day 3. Happy Life Miracle Formula book would be shared with you. So please ensure you are there on the session. We'll be sharing the book there during the session itself. Yeah. Now I have a statement to make. The statement is, you might have seen this. Under the same challenging condition, same event, same difficulty, same setback, 2 individuals, one is very calm, composed, organized, harmonized, responding in a very matured way, very appropriate manner. Whereas another person who is completely disturbed, internally torn, unable to stand, unable to make a proper response to that situation. Does it happen? Why it happens? But it happens for sure. If you agree, just write A. 2 different individuals, one situation, same situation, but the response is so different. One person is calm, organized, and jumping, bouncing back quickly. The other person is completely shattered. If you agree, yes, so many of you agree with this. Yeah, so many of us. Why is that? That's the question Science of Happiness asks, and then says, let's find out what are the elements which is differentiating these 2 different behaviors. Now let's see a little further. I would say even not 2 individuals, not 2 individuals. The same individual under 2 different state of mind behaves very differently. Why I'm saying this? Take my example. When I was in Jim Corbett National Park, under one situation, one circumstance, one state of my mind, I was shivering, I was shaking, completely disturbed from inside. I was feeling like nausea. I was about to fall down, as if I'm losing my consciousness. Under one state. Under the second state of mind, I became confident. Some kind of trust came to me that, yes, I'll come out of this danger. And things worked very differently. I could respond appropriately. I could bounce back and make things happen. If you see this as wow, just write wow. Just 2 different mindset. It is about 2 different state of mind. That is the differentiator. Let us all write wow, W-O-W. Let's all write wow. And let me tell you, wow itself is a hack. When we say wow like this, when we expand our hands and say wow, this itself, let's all do it right now. Let's all do it like this and say wow. When we do this much, the internal state of energy and mindset changes. Because of many physiological reasons, many chemical reasons, when we are doing like this, the posture itself has an impact on the body and the state of mind. Yeah. So let's all say wow. And when we say wow, wow happens in life. Lovely. Great. Wonderful. Lovely to see all your responses coming in. Now moving further, we are going to see how to shift this mindset from that state of limitation to a limitless and open and brilliant mind state. So for that reason, we need to understand the mind. We need to see why the mind is negative. This awareness is empowering. One of the scientists in the domain of contemplative neuroscience, his name is Dr. Richard Davidson. I would be intermittently, I would be sharing some of the names of the books. So please do take note of those books. And if you find some time, you would definitely love to read them. So do you have a pen and paper or a notepad with you? Please write yes. If not, now please go and get a notepad and a pen with you. Take note of things which I'm going to I'm going to share. Some of the books name, some of the other things I'll be sharing. Maybe they may not be part of this presentation, but definitely they will be of help if you take note of those. Yeah. Just write NP, notepad is there. Note and pen or notepad. Just write NP. All of us, let us write NP before we go further, because this is very, very important. What we are going to go through is very important, and take note. That's important. Awareness. I was coming to awareness when I mentioned the name of Dr. Richard Davidson. He is one of the most regarded, respected figures in contemplative neuroscience. Contemplative neuroscience means how a meditative mind changes. So he has been doing a lot of research, and one of his books, The Science of Meditation, you can choose to read, and you will be feeling so proud being an Indian. Dr. Daniel Goleman, if you've heard of the name of Dr. Daniel Goleman, he is termed as one of the most respected figures in emotional intelligence, and Dr. Richard Davidson. Jointly, they have written this book, The Science of Meditation. And most of the time they spend in India to understand the mind when we meditate. Yeah, that's a fascinating book, and a lot of inputs are there which help. So the name of the book is The Science of Meditation. The Human Trap, where Dr. Richard Davidson says, once we understand the mind, understand the unhappiness of the mind, we are set free from that unhappiness to a large extent. He terms it as meta awareness. When my mind is aware of what is happening in the mind, I'm getting that freedom. I'm empowered to overcome unhappiness. Just write empowered, or E. Just write empowered. Let us be empowered by knowing why I am unhappy. Just by knowing why I am unhappy, we'll be empowered to work there. And tomorrow, when we come up with the miracle formula, we will be more empowered to handle it more appropriately. Wonderful, wonderful, great. Lovely. Now, HUMANE is an acronym. There are 6 elements why we are unhappy. And all these elements are based on research. There are more than 500 different research which have been done to figure out what are those internal mental conditions or mental neural pathways in the brain which are leading or creating situations, attracting situations to become unhappy. And those are the ones which we are going to see and learn and know where is my most predominant unhappiness staying, so we can overcome that. Yeah, great. So H, we'll start with H. I'm not going to take you through any brain or neural pathways. We are going to learn from our experiences. H stands for holding on trap. Holding on trap. What does it mean? We hold on to certain memories which are negative from the past, and we suffer from that. In the past, something happened, but I'm suffering right now. In the past, somebody scolded me, somebody cheated me, somebody ditched me, and that thing is there in my mind. I failed, or I could not get a job. I lost someone in my life. There was a breakup, whatever it is. In the past, something happened, and that chunk of memory is still there in my mind. And there is a neural pathway always which is going back and bringing it to the present moment and making me suffer in that. We are holding on to that thing. Let me give you an example. In one of the workshops when I was conducting, during the tea break, one gentleman came to me, very senior executive in a top company. And he came to me saying, Sandip, I have been suffering in this holding on trap for last 20 years because of a reason. And the reason was, this gentleman, 20 years ago, he qualified in the civil services mains exam and was in the interview, facing the interview board. During the interview, it was so good. For 30 minutes, he impressed everyone. And almost he was told that you are qualified. But in the last 5 minutes, something happened. He had an argument with the interview board chairman, so much so that he used some abusive words. And the interview board chairman said, I'm sorry, Mr. Tripathi, his name was Tripathi, I'm sorry to say, you do not have the temperament to become an IAS officer, although we are almost thinking of selecting you. But for this, thankfully, we got to know that you do not have the temperament and you are rejected. And that very statement, that very moment has been coming to his mind for last 20 years. He was suffering in that. Although when he was attending the workshop, he was AVP. I think he was additional or assistant vice president in the company, but he was suffering in that. For some reason, he could not come out. I asked, why is it worth it to suffer such a long time because of this? He said, I know it's not worth it, but I can't help it. I cannot come out of it. And it is true with many of us. How many of us here, we resonate with this? That some past event, not necessarily that old, maybe last week my boss scolded me or abused me or misbehaved with me, or something happened, I did some mistake, or there was a promotion I lost. In the past it happened, but still I'm suffering because of that. If it is true to you, if you understand this, if you feel that, yes, this is something which has troubled you, holding on trap is also causing unhappiness in your life, write HOT. If you understood this, HOT means holding on trap. That means you can appreciate that because of this HOT, you are suffering. Yeah. So many things. I've seen people suffer, just they do not know how to live it. With Tripathi, I worked very closely, and he learned the art of what is called letting go, how to let go of things. We will do this exercise on day 3, how to let go of a thing, how to accept and just release. And just one practice, that one practice helped Tripathi to completely come out of this. He said, I never thought that I would ever come out of this. And later on, when I took some information about him, he has become the vice president and tipped to become the chief operating officer of that company. So just by changing his mindset, he could grow, right? So holding on trap, I believe all of us, we understood what is holding on trap. Past memory, we are suffering in the present. This is one trap. Yeah. Second trap is uncertainty trap. What is this uncertainty trap? It is just like a mirror image of the holding on trap. Holding on trap is past. It is affecting my present. Past event affecting my present. Past memory affecting my present. Uncertainty trap, in the present, I create, imagine an unfortunate future. There may be element of truth in that, but I suffer because of a future expected event. For example, tomorrow I have to make a presentation, and what will happen? I'm not prepared and I'm feeling disturbed. There is an interview I have to face. I have to go for an examination. There is a deadline, project deadline, or I have lot many job to do tomorrow. I don't know how to complete them. So many things, not just this. What if I lose my job? What if I catch an infection of COVID? What if I die? What if I lose my money? All these thoughts are a projection from the present state. I project an imaginary negative state, and I'm saying I'm suffering in the present. Unfortunately, during the COVID time, I worked with more than 5,000, 7,000 people. Many of them, most of them are having this. Predominant was uncertainty, having anxiety, having restlessness. They don't know what is going to happen to them. And especially people who had been infected by COVID, because of the effect of the virus itself, they had a higher degree of uncertainty in their life. And so many people are suffering. Again, this is due to that internal state of balance of energy and a state of mind. If we can handle that, we can overcome the uncertainty. If you understood this, if you get it, what exactly I mean by this, in present, we are thinking about some negative future and projecting it as a probable event in our life. And that is what we call uncertainty trap. Just right. What happens in this? We are creating a negative future. By doing it, we are actually creating a negative future. So uncertainty trap creates a horrible future. UCHF, right? UCHF. Why? When we are projecting a negative future, we are actually creating that kind of energy in us. Our immunity subsides. Our creativity completely go to dumbness. We cannot think. And naturally, what we expect, our confidence gets shattered. We cannot face the interview appropriately. We can read and appear for an examination. We cannot present appropriately. We cannot save money. We become so jittery and shaky that everything we create an hopeless future. Yeah. Horrible, hopeless future. So please come out of this. How to come out of this? There are ways and means, but now it is time for us to appreciate, to understand, to be aware of it. Am I suffering in this? If yes, then I need to know that this uncertainty, this anxiety, this worry is coming because of uncertainty trap. It is a human trap, normal in human life. Let me just know that and observe it. Yeah. Great. UCFH. I believe, trust that you are getting and becoming aware of it. As I said, not I said, as Dr. Richard Davidson says, be aware and be empowered. When you are aware of it, you are empowered. You know, okay, for this reason it is happening. It is human. Yeah. Human is, of course, our terminology. The research has different people have different terminologies. Human trap has been created by Academy of Unlimited Mind, but taking the same research network, research papers. Third one is me and my relationship trap. First one about the past, suffering in future, suffering in present. Second one, in the present, we are suffering due to a possible future, which we create imaginarily in the mind. Here, it is about our relationships. And those relationships, unfortunately, are making us suffer. We suffer in our relationships. And this, again, people ask me, what? There is a trap or a program or some kind of neural pathways for relationships? Absolutely, yes. We have our internal system to interact with others. And when there is an imbalance in that, this happens. Primarily, we suffer in three dimensions of relationships. One, we suffer in loving relationships. We love people. We love our children. We love our parents. We love our spouse, husband or wife. We love our friends. We love our colleagues. We love many people around. But in that loving state also, we suffer. People say, I love my son so much, but he is not listening to me and he has become like this. He is not studying and I'm suffering in that. He doesn't know how to behave. We fight, we have conflict, and we are suffering. People suffer in their conflict. Husband-wife conflict is a kind of a monumental conflict all across the ages. So we suffer in loving relationships. Second, we suffer in hateful relationship. No need to explain. We hate some people. We have hatred. It can be a boss. It can be in-laws. It can be some enemy. It can be some bad neighbor. It can be somebody who is a competitor. We have hatred for some people because of certain reasons. And in that hatred, we suffer. That is suffering in hateful relationships. And the third one, we suffer in lost relationships. What exactly does it mean? Some people in our life have gone away. Some people have passed away. They are no more in this life, in their life. So we suffer because of their loss. We suffer sometimes because of a breakup. Yeah, somebody has deserted us. And nowadays, I work with many people who are in their in their senior citizens, where their children are at far off places, maybe abroad or at a distant place. They do not have much time to interact with them, as if that relationship doesn't exist, because they are so overwhelmed with or so much engaged with their job, their family. They don't have any time to interact with their parents. So the parents are now having that lost sense of relationships. So in relationships, we suffer in 3 domains, 3 dimensions: suffering in loving relationships, suffering in hateful relationships, suffering in lost relationships. If you understood this, if you got this, please write LHL. If you got it, we suffer in relationships. Again, just reflect. Where are we suffering? In loving relationships, in hateful relationships, or in lost relationships? LHL. Yeah. Great. Wonderful. Brilliant. So far, we have been halfway through. Is it making sense? Is it valuable? Are you finding value? Are you getting some kind of insight? Just write VI, value and valuable and insightful. If you finding some value and it is insightful. Great. Lovely. Fantastic. And when I say value should be something which help us grow or give us some positive outcome. The positive outcome here is your awareness of these things will help you come out of these challenges. So be aware of it. Reflect on this framework as you complete the session today. Please do reflect on this and see which trap is troubling you the most. And I will help you to discover that at the end of the session. Lovely. Great to see all your responses. Next one is autonomy trap. Autonomy is freedom. I want to be free. Every human being want a kind of free lifestyle. I want to do something. I want to spend time with my family, go on a trip, or at least take a rest, do something for myself, my hobbies. But this is not allowed many times because of our responsibilities. In office, so many tasks, overwhelming tasks. While traveling, traffic jam, so many other things, money problem, this problem, that problem. In today's conflicting or complex era, so many conflicts, so many challenges, and our life is begging for some free moments, freedom. We are overwhelmed, and even if when we are apparently free, our mind is not free. So autonomy trap is about that lack of freedom, sense of freedom, as if I'm feeling like a slave. People who are working in corporates, people who are working in business, even homemaker, housewives and house husband, I interact with many of them, and many of them say that unfortunately I'm working, I'm in a job or I'm doing my business, but I'm feeling so helpless. I'm feeling like a slave of my job. And this has become a trend. I do something which I do not like. I'm just doing it to sustain my life, as if I'm completely surrendered my soul. So this is about that. I'm overwhelmed by responsibility and I'm not getting time for myself. I'm feeling like trapped and limited. Stress is one of the outcome of this. So many of us, we feel stressed because of this. High blood pressure, high blood sugar, all these things are because of this sense. There is a deadline, I have to work 24 hours, 25 hours if that 1 hour is given to me also. People are not getting time, people are not getting a peace of mind, people are not getting organized and suffering and struggling and stretching. This is autonomy trap. And autonomy trap, primarily it leads to stress, anger, a lot of disgust. If you understand this, just mention autonomy trap leads to stress, ALS. Yeah, if you can resonate with this, if you understand this. So many I talk to, most of them say they go to the office and then it becomes like they are kind of on a track, but they do not have any control, as if they have to just do what they're asked to do. They planned something, boss asked for a meeting or called for a meeting, and they're stuck. So much of disturbance happening because of lack of autonomy in our life. But we will see we can handle this. This can be changed because it's not outside. We can create inside something which will give us that sense of freedom and also give us that space to perform in a better manner. Great. Next one is called name, fame, status, position, identity trap. Name, fame, status, all of us we want. We want a status. We want our identity, our brand to be established. And if that identity, that status somehow is attacked, affected, we suffer. We completely get shattered by this. Let me give you an example, very unfortunate example. Many times we see on newspaper, we see on the television that somebody brilliant, amazing in a top institution in the country has committed suicide. Maybe IIT, IIM, AIMS, Indian Institute of Sciences, so many top institutes, people commit suicide. Why? What happened to them? If you just look at their life, right through their childhood, they have been exceptional, brilliant, amazing mind. And people around, like parents, teachers, neighbors, friends, everyone around would say, look at that mind, brilliant, extraordinary. And this extraordinary, brilliant mind cracked that examination, got into the top institution, and there suddenly in the IIT, IIM or AIMS or Indian Institute of Sciences, he or she finds everyone is alike, like him only or her only. Now that status has come down. There is a struggle how to create that status. And sometimes the teacher says, you are a buffoon, you are a fool, you don't have a mind, you are absolutely a donkey. And then from an identity of brilliant, amazing, extraordinary, identity of a fool, buffoon, donkey is death of an identity. That death of an identity, it signals depression and suicidal thoughts also. In the brain, the flickering of some kind of signals which lead to the death of an identity reflected inside, lead to suicidal tendencies and ideas. But unfortunately, this is true for many of us. Under many circumstances, our status and identity is attacked and we feel like hopeless in that moment. Somebody abused us in a meeting, somebody criticized, somebody cheated, or somebody surpassed us, and we feel so hopeless. What is the outcome? What happens in this identity trap? I call it identity trap because it's an identity of mine is completely crashed, dying. Then this happens. Even if it goes a little down, we feel very unsettled. We express jealousy, we express anger, disgust because of this. Our identity, you can loosely call it the ego trap. And this I refer to as one of the most important traps of our life. If we can handle this, we can handle so many other things of our life. So I call it IIP. What does it mean? Identity is paramount. Paramount means most important. Identity is paramount. If we can hold that identity and we can save that, we can safeguard that identity, we will not suffer as much. Just write IIP. Identity is paramount, most important in our life. And that ego, that identity, that branding, how we can take charge of. Otherwise, every now and then, we are going to suffer. Somebody said something. So many people are so touchy in life. Somebody scolded, I feel low. Somebody criticized, I feel low. Somebody surpassed me, I feel small. So all these things because of this trap. Now, I hope all of us, we have been understanding the last one, and we call it equality and unfairness trap. In our life, injustice does happen. So many injustice. I struggled the entire year. Somebody else got the promotion because he was known to the boss or having proximity to the boss. I studied for the whole year. Somebody else got the job because of some connection. I put in so much of efforts, but I could not crack the examination because of some health issues. Again, unfairness of nature. Even simpler thing, like, let me give my example. A few years ago, I was in a queue. I was standing in a queue to book a ticket. And that was a very slow moving queue, not moving at all. In last 15, 20 minutes, only about maybe 2 feet we had moved forward. Suddenly we found somebody very powerful, maybe a leader, somebody having some bodyguards, chose to bypass the queue. Straightway he went to the counter, booked the ticket, and got away with it. And I was fuming inside. This is unfair. This is injustice. I was crying inside, feeling like boiling from inside. Then suddenly I realized, what am I doing? One, already a damage has been done, delayed queue. And second, I am hurting myself further. I did not have the guts to say that, why should you do this? And not only me, probably everyone in the queue was boiling. But see, unfairness can really internally torn us apart. That moment I realized, in fact, I used some technique to help me. I said, sometimes I also get little privilege when I know people in some office or some place. And that time I say, oh, I'm so fortunate, so lucky. And now I'm crying and fighting, so that why he did this. So that helped me a little. But let me tell you, in life, some injustice, some unfairness are so deep and so impacting, very, very difficult to come out of them. And many times guilt, shame, jealousy, internal anger, disgust, restlessness comes because of this unfairness, injustice happened to me. And this is the human trap. This is the human trap. Human trap, 6 different elements. And you'll find that any challenge of your mind's negative emotions, you can put under either one or multiple of these traps. Any challenge of the mind, you can segregate them under one of these buckets. Do you agree? If you agree, just write HUMANE. 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 In fact, in a research very recently, people suffer from some chronic diseases, some kind of terminal diseases with a lot of pain in their body. And those of these sufferers who feel that this is injustice, why nature is inflicting so much of pain on me, their pain is far more than the ones who accept the pain easily. So unfairness trap, if it is there trapped inside, it will also hurt you more. Yeah. Now, all of us here, we will just look at this template. Just look at this template, and in your notebook, we will take another 7 minutes, maybe maximum. Every day we will have around 70 minutes, 60 to 70 minutes today and tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, it will be longish. It will be around 90 to 100 minutes. As I mentioned at the beginning, the longer session would be because of our interaction and description of our advanced course. Yeah, for that reason, the last day would be little longish. So today we'll take another 5-6 minutes. What we are going to do right now, just look at this statement, look at this picture, and write down the predominant trap on your notepad. You can just draw this table, HUMANE, and write down in each of these traps, what is your number? In each of these traps, what is your number? Yeah. In H, let's say if it is very strong, that means you are suffering because of the holding on trap, give a higher number there. If it is not as much, you can give a low number there. So just need to find out which one of these traps is it is impacting you more in a scale of 1 to 10. Let's all just take about a minute or so and do this. And this is a task which is given to you as well. So after doing this, please take a screenshot of that and share it in the WhatsApp group. We'll be sharing this template with you. Also, you can take a photo of your note where you have done it and share it in the WhatsApp group. It will be open for your interaction. I can see Garimaji is mentioning, I missed it, so I cannot do it. No worries. Would you like to have the recording of today's session? I know there are few things which are pretty new. Maybe you may not have grasped in the first instance itself, maybe because of internet issues or you're traveling. Would you like to have the recording today? Just write recording. If you would like to have the recording, but with a promise. The promise is that you will go through the recording, revise your whatever we have discussed, and also we will be sharing the recording through YouTube. Please do subscribe to the channel. Please do subscribe to the channel, and you will be thanking yourself only, because we are going to share so many valuable content in the times to come, and already there are so many valuable contents over there. So please do subscribe, and would love if you can like also the videos. Yeah, we'll be sharing the recording. Yeah, screenshot. We'll be sharing this particular template in the WhatsApp group. Let me tell you again, this particular template in your WhatsApp group, you just need to click on that template and put the number besides the trap. Like, what is the number of your trap? And then you take a screenshot of it and share in the WhatsApp group. That's a task that we are giving you. Yeah. Now there is one more task, and the task is coming up for this objective. The objective is, in the 3 days, what we'll learn, we will learn that we can move towards our happiest version by doing something. But we have to do something. We have to commit to do certain things. Today, we are going to do a task right now. Can we all commit? Just write, I commit. Just write, I commit. Just write, I commit. Please do write, I commit. Or just write, I see. I see is for I commit. I and C. Great, great, great. Lovely. When I say I commit, only and only your commitment will ensure your success. I cannot help you. Nobody else can help you unless you are committed to bring in your happiest version. Nobody else can. And let me tell you, nobody also would care for your happiness. It is your responsibility to have that internal state of being, which is happy, productive, successful, rich, abundant, and make a difference in this life. Please do commit, and I'm going to give you certain tasks. Please do those tasks sincerely with a lot of intensity. If you commit, would you like to get one more gift? All of you who are committed will get a gift. If yes, just write G, G for gifts. G for gift. Yeah. And the gift that I'm going to give you is this. Those of you who are going to complete all the 3 days task, you are going to get a copy of my book, E-State of the Devas. And this will be for free. Only and only you need to complete all the tasks. We are going to give you 5 to 6 tasks. Please do complete simple tasks. Not even will take 5 to 10 minutes of time of your time. Just need to complete them, and you would be claiming this book. I want you to claim. Everyone should claim this book. Reason, not just this book. Reason is your commitment will help you. That's the reason why I ask you to commit. Right now, we are going to do this task. Right now, we are going to do this task. What is it? All of you, just take a moment to get a piece of paper. I presume you have already a notepad. You can tear one paper from there, or you can get a fresh sheet of paper from somewhere. Get a ball and a matchbox. Just take a moment to get that. Yeah, let me now stop sharing. Let's all come on camera and work on this. Let's all come on camera and work on this. On that sheet of paper, let's do this paper part first, and later part you can do either now or a little later. On that paper, you need to write few things. And the few things are your present state in the last 1 or 2 days, whatever pain, agony, misery, sufferings that you are happening because of emotionality. You are feeling anxious, you are feeling sorry, you are feeling guilty, you are feeling some kind of shame or whatever. Just write down what is that incident, what is that suffering. It may be recent or it may be of past, but you are suffering now. Write down that, and in a bracket, just write which trap it is coming from. Just need to write down what are those 1 or 2 or 3 things which are making you suffer in your life. It may be a fight with your boss. It may be some financial issues. It may be some kind of a hot exchange of words with your spouse, or it may be because of some loss in your life. Just write down that. Sincerely write that down on that piece of paper. With all intensity, just write it down. And after you complete writing it, get that ball and a matchbox with all safety precautions. Ensure that fan is not there, so it should not fly. Put that paper inside that ball. Fold it and put it inside the ball. You can also tear it to pieces and put that inside the ball. And burn up that paper. Lit up the matchbox and burn that paper. While you see the burning paper, you have to get to a posture. You have to do certain things. What you need to do, you have to sit straight, look at that burning ball, and feel inside that your sufferings are being destroyed. They are being burnt off. Feeling is important. I'll explain the science behind it, why this works like magic. Burn that paper. Just watch, observe that paper, and recite inside, repeat, have this affirmation: I destroyed my sufferings today. I destroyed my sufferings today. As if that sound is resonating all through your body, in every cell of your body, every organ of your body is resonating with that vibration that I have destroyed my sufferings today. And you are feeling that lightness as the paper is being burning in that ball. Please, please, please do this. Do this today for sure. If you are not in a position to do it right now, please do it immediately after the session. And after doing it, take a snap of that. Take a click of that burning ball and also post it in the group, WhatsApp group. Please do post as you have committed, and we'll also be giving that gift to all those who are doing these activities. Yeah. So you are sitting quiet, straight, observing that flame and repeatedly telling yourself, I have destroyed my sufferings today. I have suggested few people in earlier times to conduct this activity once in a week. And few weeks after that, they said, amazingly, things have changed in life. I'm now far more resilient to overcome the sufferings, and I'm coming out of sufferings. So please, please do. Most important thing, you should feel that. That feeling is so important. Feeling that vibration as you are chanting in your mind, I have destroyed my sufferings today. And allow that vibration to flow through every bit of your body, every cell of your body, as if it is flowing and telling that I have destroyed my sufferings today. Yeah. I can see all of you are writing Great. You have done it. Yes. If you have done it, please do write DI, done it. If you have not done it, please do it. Yeah, I can see Siddharji. I can see iPhone name is not appearing. I can see Dineshji. I can see Raghavendraji. I can see Nagaraji. Great Somyaji. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Wonderful, wonderful. Please, please do it. And the intensity matters. How you say that, yes, I have destroyed my sufferings today. Feel that in such a manner that completely you are destroying your sufferings. Yeah. Done it, Santoshi. Wonderful. Gopakumarji, wonderful. Sureshji, Sureshaji, Bhartiji, wonderful. Matthewji, wonderful. Samiullaji, great. Sandeshi, wonderful. Krishna Kumarji, fantastic. Gopakumarji, lovely. Garimaji is asking what to do if the thoughts keep coming again. Just do it. Just do it for the time being. I'll explain what to do. Did it mentally, as TC Gupta ji is saying, did it mentally? Powerful. Last day, we will discuss about that. If you have done it mentally, good, but also do it physically once. I destroyed my sufferings today. Wonderful. Chirag ji is saying, done it, done it, done it. Antony ji, lovely. Now, great. How did it feel? People who have done it now, just can you, in one word, mention how did it feel? If you have done it with all intensity, all that internal feeling and vibration of that word, relaxed, yeah, freedom, wonderful, relaxed, cool, destroyed my sufferings, and light, good, happy, tension removed, relaxed, good and happy, relaxed, cool and calm feeling, anger, why I suffer, okay. Do it again with the intensity, as if you are looking at the anger being burnt off. Yeah, looking at the anger being burnt off. Felt good, feel very light and happy, more moment of relaxation, pleasant, lovely, lovely, fantastic. Felt relieved, serene, lovely, great, brilliant. So now almost we have come to the end of the session, little extended actually. So before we conclude, let me remind that tomorrow again, exactly at 7:30, we are meeting together with understanding of the mind and how we can intervene in the mind, applying the miracle formula. So please do present right at 7:30, and we will look forward to have some amazing session today, amazing techniques today, tomorrow. And before we close the session today, before we complete the session today, for a moment, let's pray for the entire humanity. A lot of pain, a lot of sufferings, a lot of disturbance, a lot of challenges people are going through. The entire creation is going through on this planet. Let's pray for every creature, every human being, for their happiness and for their elevation, for their success and for their well-being. Let's pray for them. When we pray for others, we also feel better and good. Let's pray for everyone who is present in this very Zoom meeting. Let's pray for each other, pray for every creature, and wish everyone a wonderful life as they go through the journey of life on this planet. And tomorrow at 7:30, again, we'll meet. May God bless all of us, and we'll be sharing the recordings in the WhatsApp group itself after some time. Thank you. Take care and God bless. With a broad beaming smile, let's all come on camera and greet each other and wish each other happiness and success in life. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been an amazing time with you. And definitely we are going to bring magic to our life. Thank you. God bless.